Hi guys, how y'all doing tonight? Well, here is part 2 of Her Knife and His Heart, which, as I said in my previous video, there's only 7 chapters and I'm on chapter 5, so I gotta work on the story some more. But yeah, I've been on writer's block on this one, on a lot of mine, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, well, hold on, let me check something right quick. Oh well. Anyways, let's go. Let's start with Chapter 5. Chapter 5, Mind Games of Horror. It was nightfall and all the doors were locked, along with the usual sound of security guards' footsteps occasionally walking up and down the hall. There was a silence down the hall, meaning he had gone down another hallway. I held a map that could lead me to the head doctor's office. Slowly opening the door, I peered down the hall and quickly made my way in the opposite direction. Following the map, passing through meaningless corridors until I reached a door labeled Dr. Sutton's office. I slowly opened and crept through the door into the ignorant man's study. He lay there, passed out in a chair with a whiskey bottle on the table next to him. "Worthless man," I whispered, my voice filled with disgust. I quietly wandered past, getting to the records room, my fingers scrolling over labeled folders. I found and pulled out the one with his name on it. Opening it, and I found his doctor's name and where his room was. But before I left, I grabbed Chance's restraint key and a knife from the doctor's area and escaped back to my room unnoticed. The next morning, I was woken up by my doctor asking if I was going to the group chat today. I shook my head no and laid back down. I waited to get up once I heard the footsteps disappear from the hallway. I hid my new knife in the hidden drawer beneath my desk. As I walked down the hall, I stopped as I heard voices of other doctors coming down the hallway. I hid in a darkened corridor as they passed. "Yeah, did you hear that one of the knives from the kitchen has gone missing?" said one of the doctors. "They probably lost the damn thing. Hell, Dr. Sutton would lose his own damn head if it wasn't attached, and if he didn't have his whiskey." The other doctor responded, "I wouldn't doubt that." That was the last thing I heard as I made my way behind them and back on my original route. Turning down meaningless corridors, I finally got to the room labeled 309. This is it, Chance's room. I was hesitant to open the door, but I grew up enough courage to do so when I heard voices coming from behind me. I entered the room only to find it empty. Of all things, it was empty. I risked everything and that damn boy was not even here. Aggravated, I didn't even realize a figure walk into the room. "Why are you here? You're not Mr. Allen," a voice of a doctor called out. An evil giggle escaped my lips. "You're acting like you don't remember me, Dr. Funderburk. Do you remember a girl who would not talk, but only stare at you with careless eyes?" I asked. "Yes, I do. Why do you ask?" he said. I glared over at him. "Remember me?" A frightened gasp escaped the poor man's lips. I ran towards him and let my hands lay around his throat. "You have one chance to tell me the truth. Where is the boy named Chance Lee Allen?" He stared at me with fearful eyes. "I don't know, Miss A—" "Don't you dare call me by my real name," I interrupted him. "I don't know. He should be back when it's time for bed." He whimpered and threw me the key he held in his hand to the room. "Thanks," I hissed. Hold on, guys. Chapter 6, Shadow Boy. I returned to my room only to hear that dinner was over and it was time for bed. After entering my room, I placed the key where I had hid the knife in the hidden desk compartment and sat on my bed. After a few, my doctor entered the room asking if I wanted anything before lockdown. I responded with my usual 2 bags of chips and 2 sodas from the staff room, please. Hold on, guys. Okay, sorry, I was messaging Bridget, which is Chance's mom. Dang. Okay. Where was that? Okay. That was going to be a surprise for him when we talked tonight. He dropped off my request, then everything was set for lockdown. Lockdown was a special day of each month to where all doctors and nurses would leave the asylum and all doors would remain locked and alarms would stay on. Though everyone left, if you exited your room, you needed to be very cautious. And only those whose doors are already always open would be the ones able to leave their rooms, meaning a little chaos would start soon. Operation Lockdown commenced. The computer rang out through all intercoms, making it time for some fun since all doctors and nurses are gone. But of course, there's always at least one that is left wandering the halls because he or she couldn't get out in time. I love it. They make it so easy. I slipped the knife under my belt and the food into a small backpack along with both his door key and restraint key. I walked out of my room and started down the hall in the same direction I took earlier. I ran into one cellmate whose door stayed unlocked. He was a mentally unstable fucker. Neither one of us liked each other, and any chance we had to hurt each other, we would. "Well, hey there, Shadow Boy," I said with a smirk. His real name was Justin. The reason I call him Shadow Boy is because of his middle name and how he acts. "Hey, right back, you creepy little snitch," he responded. "Always giving me new nicknames. What's with you? Can't you choose just one?" I asked. I just think it's fun." I giggled for a minute, then lunged at him, holding the knife to his throat. "You sneaky bitch," he coughed out. I giggled even more, pressing the knife a little harder to see a little bit of a red twinkle run onto the blade. "Shut up!" I screamed, only to see him spit at me. "You little shit. I didn't forget what you did to my best friend Kendall," I said as I quickly ran the sharp blade across his throat, to hear the gargling of an enemy choking on his own blood, and as his blood sprayed the walls and myself. "It's done," I giggled, getting back on my original track. Chapter 7, Confessions. I came to the door 309. I turned the key that his doctor gave me. I entered to see him sitting on the bed, one hand in his long black hair and the other messing with the ring. I cleared my throat and he jumped. I cleared my throat and he jumped at the sight of me. "What the hell do you want, bitch?" he spat. I put down my head and walked further in. A tear fell as I sat on the edge of the bed. "Baby?" I whimpered. I looked past my hair to see him wide-eyed. "Amy?" he asked. I looked up, pushed my hair out of my face so he could see it. "Amy, baby!" He looked at me worried. "I'll explain later, my love," I told him, and I took out the food and drinks along with the keys. "What's the keys for?" he asked. "For this," I said as I unlatched his restraints. "I thought you were dead," he said, taking a swallow of his soda. "I wished I was after I came here," I said as I continued to tell him what happened and why I was forced to leave. His eyes filled with hatred. "What's with the blood?" he asked. "It's not mine. I finally got the chance to kill the first enemy I made here," I explained to him. He stayed looking at me. "What?" I asked. I seen him grab me in a hug. "I missed you," he told me. Before I knew it, I had a smile and a blush across my face. "I love you," I whispered. Alright guys, so that's all I have for that story. I'll update it as soon as I can. And this is probably the shortest reading video I've ever done and probably ever will do. But other than that, guys, I hope you liked the story. Subscribe, do whatever. Follow me on Quotev. The name is Wanted Killer. You can easily, I don't know. If you can't find it under that, then I guess type in killer smiley faces or something like that. Just message me if you have a problem. Other than that, that's all I can think of. Tell me what you think of the story and leave me a comment on what I can do from there, how I can improve it, anything. Any kind of tips, whatever. I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.